Hi, my name is Alexis Brown. I'm here today representing our Communities Connect, or OCC for short. And the purpose of OCC is to connect the providers and the residents that need support in the 25th and the 24th Police District. We know that those areas are very challenged, and we have individuals that need a multiple range of services. We have social service providers that are located in those areas that are disconnected from each other and disconnected from the individuals that need those services. So OCC, the goal is to connect and make this happen and help our residents connect to the providers and vice versa. So today, based on a paper written by Roland Lamb, Arthur Evans, and William White about community recovery, we are interviewing these authors and asking for their information and their expertise around the community healing process, but around this model of not I in terms of recovery for the individual, but we as a community that can help to bring these individuals and to bring our communities out of distress.
Well, I think that community recovery is a very powerful concept. I think many of us who are trained as practitioners and helpers are trained to look at the individual. But individuals live within a social context, they live within a family context, they live within a community context. And one of the things we know is that if you can help change that context to be more positive and supportive and healthy, it helps the individual. And so I think the idea of community recovery is a very powerful notion, and that if communities were to embrace that and to understand that they play a role in the health of the individuals in their communities, I think it would have a huge impact on people's health across our city. And so I hope it's a concept that people will embrace, and I hope it's a concept that will help shape the kinds of activities that we see in communities going forward.
Well, there's a lot of energy that gets used up in communities just dealing with the natural stresses of being a community, of people coming together, relationships and the like. When you add to that the need for the community to adapt to different kinds of changes like traumatic events, when you have drug use in a community, when you have situations where you have gang violence in the community, where you have where the community is actually physically changing, and even more energy gets used. Then finally, when you consider the historical legacy of trauma in a community and how much trauma, the role that trauma plays, then you begin to have an understanding about the degree of stress a community is under ongoing. And it really is important that communities build in certain kinds of protective factors to ensure against that stress. Well, first of all, I think communities need to be of strong relationships. I see communities as being an extension of families, and that those relationships begin to build on each other and mutually reinforce each other in the community. I think that when you have a community that has a shared vision of itself, and where you have the cooperation of all of its members, or most of its members, you have a community that has a built-in protective factor. What's the vision that we share in our community? What do we all want for each other? What are the things that add to our safety, that add to our risk? How are we all contributing to protecting our community? How are we all celebrating each other? Do we have folks in our community that are outliers? Do we have folks in our community that we consider to be not of the community? How do we share the responsibility in the community? And what do we all belong to?
And for many communities, particularly in Philadelphia, where you have communities that are under tremendous stress, I think it's important for people to think about how do we, as a community, reclaim that level of health in the community? How do we help our community to be more well? And how do we work together to accomplish that?
I think community leadership is always a good sign. When you have folks in the community that are stepping up to be leaders, when you have high-level collaborations and partnerships throughout your community. For instance, you have a block captain, you have block meetings that are attended by members of the community. when you have communities that address the painful issues, the issues of drug use within the community, that are willing to address the needs that the people have as far as behavioral health are concerned, those to me are indicators of strengths in the community.
Really, a community that is in recovery or is focused on recovery also has mechanisms and institutions within the community that are focused on helping people to recover, to helping people to heal from various kinds of challenges, and are helping people to be supported in the gains that they may have made as they have reached out for help.
Community recovery is the ability of the community to begin to incite those things that are necessary for everyone's support. The idea that people need to have a closeness, need to have alternative activities, need to have a self-esteem. All those things that are shared by a community will bring it together, and I think they need to be, really, exploited in the community.
I want to thank Dr. Evans and Roland Lamb today for giving us their thoughts on community recovery, and invite you to click on the Blog It section on Our Communities Connect and share your thoughts. Thank you so much.